My name is Heidi Neck, and I'm an Associate Professor of Entrepreneurship at Babson College. I'd like to briefly address all of the entrepreneurship educators out there, both present and future, and I want to ask you one simple question. Are you truly prepared to teach the next generation of entrepreneurs? Today, more than ever, entrepreneurship is complex, chaotic, and lacks any notion of linearity. As educators, we have the responsibility to develop the discovery, reasoning, and implementation skills of our students so they may excel in highly uncertain environments. These skills enhance the likelihood that our students will identify and capture the right opportunity at the right time for the right reason. But this is a significant responsibility and challenge. The current approaches to entrepreneurship education are based on a world of yesterday, a world where precedent was the foundation for future action and where history often did predict the future. Yet entrepreneurship is about creating new opportunities and executing in uncertain and even currently unknowable environments. What and how do we even teach this? For many years, it was popular to ask, can entrepreneurship be taught? And as an educator, I've always answered, yes, of course, and went on to list the myriad of reasons rehearsed in advance of such questions. My answers might include, it's a skill set, it's a process, or we've been doing it for years, or it depends on how you define entrepreneurship. In reality, and upon reflection, and looking at the future of entrepreneurship education, I may be willing to admit that I was wrong. I may be willing to consider alternative explanations. Might it be that entrepreneurship using current popular approaches cannot really be taught, and that the real-world experience actually does supersede a really expensive college education? I mean, just look at Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Richard Branson, Mary Kay Ash, and Debbie Fields, who are all incredibly successful entrepreneurs without a college degree. Should their success signal anything to the entrepreneurship educators? Not really, because for every Bill Gates, there are 1 million entrepreneurs who experience in the real world dramatic, life-altering failure that we do not read about in the popular press. So what's the point? Well, there are 3. First, entrepreneurship education is incredibly important, but current mainstream approaches are dated. Second, real-world experience contributes significantly to the learning, but sometimes the cost of failing in the real world is just too high. Finally, and because of points 1 and 2, entrepreneurship within a formal education structure requires a new approach based on action and practice. So I suggest we approach teaching entrepreneurship as a method. The method is teachable, learnable, but it is not predictable. The method is people dependent, but not dependent on a type of person. The entrepreneurship method goes beyond understanding, knowing, and talking and demands using, applying, and acting. Most importantly, the method requires practice. Entrepreneurship requires practice. Learning a method, in my opinion, is often more important than learning specific content, because in an ever-changing world, we need to teach methods that stand the test of dramatic changes in content and context. Entrepreneurship is often taught as a process of identifying an opportunity, understanding resources requirements, acquiring those resources, planning, and then finally implementing. But the word process assumes known inputs and known outputs, as in a manufacturing process. The process implies you will get to a specific destination. For example, you're building a car on an assembly line. This is a manufacturing process. You know all the parts, you know how they fit together, and you know the type of car you will have at the end of the process. A process is quite predictable. Entrepreneurship is not predictable. This is why I say that entrepreneurship is more of a method than a process. A method represents a body of skills or techniques that together comprise a toolkit for entrepreneurial action. In contrast to a predictive process, the entrepreneurship method requires creative and nimble thinking, leading to a heightened level of experimentation where numerous iterations represent stages in learning rather than just a series of starts and stops or even successes and failures. Finally, while a process is tested multiple times to ensure quality when it's finally used, a method is something that requires consistent practice, so knowledge and expertise can be continuously developed and applied to future endeavors. So let me revisit the earlier question. can entrepreneurship be taught? For now, I'm going to say that teaching entrepreneurship is unlike teaching any other business discipline. Perhaps we don't teach entrepreneurship the discipline. Perhaps we teach a method to navigate the discipline. So stay tuned for pedagogy involving teaching entrepreneurship as a method at Babson College and how it relates to Babson's new strategy based on entrepreneurial thought and action, where our goal is to educate leaders that can create opportunities that generate social and economic value everywhere. Thank you.